So everyone, welcome to this evening broadcast and conversation. Welcome to the Media TV. My name is Mazi Ezeoke. Today, I have a rare privilege to have a one-on-one with someone whom for so many years, close to 30 years, that I have been admiring and I've been following. And this conversation, this one-on-one conversation is with no other person than Charles Chukwuemeka Oputa, a person many of you know as Charlie Boy. He is the founder of our Mumu Dondu organization, the Area Father One, president of all frustrated Nigerians, the Odudubare Ba One of Africa. He is a singer and a songwriter, a television presenter, publisher, producer, one of the most controversial entertainer, best known for his alternative lifestyle, political views, and media productions, most notably the Charlie Boy Show. The Area Father, I welcome you to this conversation.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It is a privilege to actually have you. I remember many years ago when I used, everyone tunes into your Charlie Boy Show. One of my memorable and an episode I can never forget was a conversation you had with late Chief Dr. Chuba Okadibo. Would you still recall that conversation with him?
Oh yeah, that was the very first interview we had with a politician. Exactly. That changed the course of that program totally. And we didn't have an appointment with the late Dr. Chuba Okadibo. We were just on site seeing the National Assembly to take some few clips and shots. And then, of course, we stumbled onto him. And then the next thing was an interview started, So that was the very first break we had, and it was memorable. It was a Kodak moment for me.
I mean, I remembered at some point in that interview, later, there is this guy, a comedian called Ali G. Ali G once had a conversation with one of these American politicians. It was a little bit like an awkward moment. That's the only thing I can, because at some point, there were some languages and slangs you used that appeared a little bit above what Chuba Okadibo was expecting, because he apparently didn't understand the slangs. How do you do it to stay in tune with languages of, if you permit me to use that, the language of the street?
Well, I'm street myself. I live in the street. I know it's kind of confusing because from my heritage and my pedigree, people expect me to be somewhere else. But I am that spoiled brat that was born and, the bed was all laid out for me. And I decided to wander into the thick forest to go and see how the animals live. And I got into that thick forest and never came back. And I enjoyed my peace with the animals I saw in the forest. That is really my story, So I've been poor in my life. Not that I was meant to be, but because I was also chasing my own dreams and trying to carve my own niche. I had enough of living under somebody's illumined image. I wanted my own stuff. So that led me on a very bumpy and challenging path. But like nothing succeeds as success, because success is the father, the friend of so many people. So I thank God that at the end of it all, my father went around and introduced himself as Charlie Boy's father.
That's excellent. You know, obviously many who knew the running battle then, you know, the much they knew from the media. You know, there was, after the Oputa panel, then there was this trending in the media. I could recall that time because I was still, at that point, I was a staff of the Nigerian Television Authority, the headquarters. I could recall this shot of you on a suit. The first time seeing you on a suit with that, you know, dreadlocks. And it was like, you know, what is, how do you explain this? Because suddenly we saw a man we've been admiring move away from having rings and tattoos and putting on suits and, you know, with that dreadlocks. And people started thinking, is he trying now to please his dad? Was that the whole idea?
Not at all. I never tried to please anybody in my life, ever since I can remember, ever since I was born. My first fight against the status quo started from my house. You know, why should everybody sit at the dining table with fork, with cutleries? Why can't I stay in my room? So I've been fighting the status quo ever since I can remember. And when we did Zoom time, it was to create another kind of image. It was for people to see what's here. It wasn't about all the satires that we did on the Charlie Boy show that people didn't seem to grasp, you know, at the time, because the Charlie Boy show had a lot of comical, satiric, you know, skits that sometimes confuse people. But you know also that Nigerians are the most conservative, the most Mongo-packish, the most analogish people around. So it takes them time to grasp, you know, and that was the problem with my father. He said, nobody's going to understand this, so people will think you're irresponsible. I said, it is okay, because what I studied is public relation, you know, majoring in radio TV. I say, I'm the one creating this image. So when it's time for, you know, to let people into my head, then I'll show them that there is this other side. And like I tell people all the time, there are about 3 personalities that live in this house. So it depends on the environment I'm in, the people I hang with, whatever is suitable, which personality is suitable to that environment jumps out. So I'm not just ordinary. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, thank you. So, you know, if I take it from you, now, recently, on the 19th of June this year, you turned 71.
Did I?
You noted that in one of the interviews you had with Charles Onagolu on Arise TV, you noted that you want to remain 70. So how do we reconcile that? And again, I must tell you, you do not any way, shape, or form come close to that age. What is your secret?
What secret?
The secret of remaining ever young.
Well, if I tell you, would it be a secret any longer?
Oh, can you whisper to my ears?
No, well, I think 50% of it is the stock I came from, good stock. Okay, my father lived till almost 100. My mother lived till 101. My grandfather on my father's side lived till 105. My grandmother on my mother's side lived 115. So wow. This is where I'm coming from. And wow. because I'm smart like that, I have a very healthy lifestyle. I don't drink at all. I'm battling with nicotine, but I'm winning that battle. I'm on I'm on a good diet, not just about what goes in my mouth, but what I choose to listen to, what I choose to look at, the people I choose to, that hangs around me. Okay, I'm on a very heavy diet. And to top it all, I exercise regularly, and the people I hang around with are very, very young people, exceptionally outstanding young people, so they keep me youthful, they keep me useful, and I know what's trending, I know what's in and what's out. So I can't grow old like that. And that is why after 70, I said, I'm not growing any older than this, So I rather grow backwards,
Okay, is that, you talked about hanging around younger people. It brings me to the younger generation now. There is this song you did together with Fowls, and I think it's called God of Men. Let's just have a little clip of that song.
You are great man of God. You are great man of God, and you know.
Everybody say, yeah, yeah. You know, so we get the original and we get the fake. But this song is dedicated to all the fake pastors because guy men don't fool for sure. Yep, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Now what did they take deceive us? Amen. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Now what did they take deceive us? Amen. They tell us right, they do left. 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 They tell us left, they do right. They tell us left, they do right. They tell us right.
Oh, do Barry, see this one. I want leave them. I know what make us stop them at all.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the vibe. Now, if I look at that song, it somewhat sounded like one of Fela's songs. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, Amen. Amen. In the name of Almighty God, Amen. Yeah. Was there any inspiration driven from that Fela song?
Just the part you just sang right now, yes.
Okay. So now you obviously did that song with Fowls. What's why the decision of Fowls?
Why not? I promised myself one thing, that I'm going to work with all the young people who I admire. And he's one of the artists that I admire. And because I'm a student of life, and because I'm always looking out for the things I can learn to add to the little that I know, so it was a privilege, me working with Fowls. I've worked with the late San Sultan, God bless his soul. I've worked with W4, I've worked with Terry G. I'm looking forward to working with Don Jazzy, Flavor, and so on. Because like I said, working with all these young people, I can't even begin to put it in words what it does for me, for my psyche. And it keeps me humble and nimble.
But sometimes it appears working with the younger ones, as they say in Igbo, na nwata ya na nne ya na-eji ugbo ara ama mgbe ọ na-asị nne ya kedu ebe ọ wụsa. Before ngwongwo na ngwongwo ayochi ụmụazị anya. And in some cases it might appear that there might be controversies here and there. We once saw before the last campaign there was this issue regarding our Mumu Dondu, to a point that Dejinju, appears that you made a comment that was supposed to be, sarcastic, that was misconstrued to be true, that you were paid in that, by the Buhari campaign. Now, is there anything we can have a clarification on that and what actually transpired in that moment?
That is, rumors are for idiots who believe, and Mumu people who spread it. And it's all in the long distance past, Anybody who knows me knows that I'm incapable of, forget about my outlandishness as far as the image is concerned. But yeah, we are the masters of controversy. Even when there's nothing happening, we create one, because you should never forget a brand like Charlie Boy. Never. Well, people who know me, know my pedigree, know that it's something that is as fictitious as Charlie Boy being a homosexual. Hey, come on. Or as Charlie Boy being an Okada person for real. Because of the fact that I hang with Okada people don't mean I'm into Okada business. Because of the fact that I advocate for the LGBTQ community don't make me gay. And the fact that I'm hanging with young people who, by the way, are old enough to be my child. My first son is 52 and he's an associate professor. And I come from a rock solid foundation that you can't bribe me with money, neither can you bribe me with women or alcohol and things like that, because I'm a special breed, you see. I'm a classic and I don't belong, because I'm in the street does not mean I'm a street boy. And I'm not from that class. And that is why after the Mumu Don't Do, which was a campaign, we started, now we be government. Because obviously it was clear to me that our Mumu never do. Because we still had the same, permit my word, the same scumbag return again. And everybody knows how I feel about that. And I once did a song that both APC, PDP, they're not the people to be trusted. That song is on YouTube. Yeah, another guy man won't enter. And everybody knows the song I did about Buhari, pack and go. So because we Nigerians, we don't think, we don't reason, we just keep reacting. So I've decided to stay away from that loud noise-making kind of people. And I've decided to weaponize my music as Charlie Boy, because that's all I had. That's all fella had, rather than be running into people who I don't share the same values with, who are not from my kind of pedigree, just because, I'm doing this, because I can't really involve with whatever except it's coming from my soul.
Exactly. So, before I leave the music scene and get into maybe slightly politics, do you, for your viewers, if I say, was there any influence in terms of your music, your activism, the line of thought, was the late fella Anikulapo Kuti ever an influence to you?
I think the greatest influence, people always ask me that, but I think the greatest influence should be my father. My father said a lot of things, and he just brainwashed me with a lot of values, a lot of principles, how a man ought to be. He used to say things like, a man without discipline is a dead man. Okay. He used to say things like, listen, that's me and my siblings, of course. Anyway, you see injustice, you must fight it. You must fight it before it comes to chop your head off. And everybody knows that my father was a law man, believed in justice, equity, and fairness. So we got a lot of brainwashing in that direction about what justice represents. Like I said, I'm proud of my heritage and where I'm coming from. Because I dey go street, because I wander enter inside bush. No mean say me and those kind people say we are the same. Please, let's get it clear. Because there's a difference from is and was. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I think my father, in terms of where I am today, because like I said in the beginning, I rebelled against all the status quo, beginning from my house. And it was my father who set me on this path without even realizing what he was doing, okay? And I don't see any major difference between me and my dad. He did his own on the bench. I am doing my own on the street.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's about the difference. But see, you know, we're subject of influences. Even talking to you is doing something here. Mm-hmm. Unconsciously, okay? So, I mean, my environment influences me in my music, okay? Yes, I admire people like Fela who could be consistent. I mean, that's important now. Who could be consistent, who said the same thing, whose fight was channeled towards the government of the day, who backed up, was a voice for the voiceless. I liked that part of him. And I've always been that way since I can remember. So seeing somebody, you know, that way also, you know, encouraged me, emboldened me to be on that path.
Okay, so I'm going to play the next clip here. And that is, you've alluded to it before, but it's one of your clips that I like to also listen to. And let's take a listen.
Buhari Waka, what are you changing? Are you bullied to change? People are dying. Back and go. Oh yeah, Buhari, back and go. Back and go. Buhari, back and go. Back and go. We don't tire for this your change, oh. Back and go. You won't kill us again and again, no. Back and go. Our mumu don't do waka. Our eye don't shine waka. Like government waka. Uru government waka. Make you waka, oh. Make you waka, oh. Waka. Waka 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 waka.
Hey, I'm already in the mood. Okay, so listening to that song, many Nigerians have said the area father himself warned us of the impending danger. Many people on Twitter have actually gone further than that, saying that when your dad, your late dad, headed the Oputa panel, that one of the recommendations of that panel was that everyone who was past, you know, any part of anyone who was part of the or head of state before the military juntas should never be elected, or they should be banned from holding further office. Mm-hmm. Right now, your late father warned Nigerians. You, through your song, through your activism, our Mumu never do, and through, it appeared that our Mumu was follow come as well, as you rightly said.
Yeah.
So what do you now have to say to Nigerians?
Factory fitted. Factory fitted. I mean, you're just talking about Buhari. What about in 1989 when I did 1990? They wait for 1990. They don't sew their trousers with big pockets. They won't carry Nigeria put inside. Not be today now. Not be today. Maybe even before you were born. How old are you? How old are you? Really?
In my in the mid-40s.
In the mid-40s. Well, look
yes.
Now. My first son is 52. So, obido ta, ihe today. Otele ntiwere mkpu, ike agwụla m because when ike agwụla m that I'm going to go to sleep. Hell no. Ike would himself. I know I'm no longer a spring chicken, okay? So if my bones are rickety and are not as vibrant as they used to be 15 years ago, my mouth can never tire. Because wherever you want to pan all the rubbish that is happening in Nigeria, I swear to God, my brother, I still believe that the salvation of that country, that contraption you call Nigeria, lies in the hands of its exceptional people. Who are these exceptional people? They are just the youths, for Christ's sake.
Yes.
Or else explain to me why a Nigerian youth will leave the shores of Nigeria. Once Heru Alabeke, they start to bubble, they start to blossom. There are a lot of people in London, well, not a lot, but more than a few Nigerians in London who are holding their own, who are in the system, not to talk about Canada, not to talk about America, that are doing well, that has been Nigeria's pride abroad. There are a lot of them. So why is it that when an individual leaves the country, they start to shy? What is it in that country that kills the dream of young people? Bad leadership. And I dare say, I dare challenge everybody, including you, my brother, that we are all guilty, including myself. I'm not exonerated. All of us, we are guilty. How come? We're guilty of our docility. We're guilty of our inaction over decades. Because we've always said, my thief is better than your thief. We have not agreed that a thief is a thief. So when our friend, our relations are in a position of power, that time we go to do like this. But when it's somebody else's relatives or friend, then we start to throw stones. But we, you, me, we have not yet agreed that a thief is a thief. This is how, now so we do, we come allow jagudas, motor park people will not even go school, to come say, to allow them in a position of leadership. So what do you think? So when criminals have invaded the place, what do you think will happen? Is what is happening now. They will do anyhow.
Well, yes. Some people will say it's a case of where mad people have taken over the asylum.
Well,
okay. So now, area further here. There is these, like what you've just said now. Obviously, I'll call it a generational warning. You've been warning Nigerians for for so many decades now. You've been doing that consistently. I must add that caveat there. Now, there was this, that the report from your late father, and here we have a new generation, and you're saying that the salvation of that nation is in the hands of the new generation. Do you think, bearing in mind what this new generation were able to do last year, October, with the NSAS, do you think there is hope? I mean, if you take from that they could one day actually wake up and say, enough of this madness?
See, my brother, you're building a house. You build a house on a rubbish foundation, because our foundation as a country is shaking now. Abi, it is not correct. Nigeria, as I see it, is a geographical transaction by the British people. We all know that. That is one scenario. Building a house on a very faulty foundation, and you expect the house to stand. And you keep talking about, okay, I get take 2 more stories. We'll go put another 5 more stories on a house with a faulty foundation. One scenario. The other scenario is, are you married? Are you married?
Yes, yes, of course I am.
What has made me survive 45 years of marriage to just one person? Because we have the habit of always in our room, we come together, whatever, we respect each other. We are friends to each other. We respect our individual space. Yeah. Whatever it is the problem. In the night, we sit down like in a big FROC and meeting. We solve the problem. Nobody they hear our wahala outside. It is not for social media consumption. Like I always say, marriage is management, because marriage, as far as I'm concerned, is bullshit. Some people feel that staying 45 years means, okay, that you overlove your wife. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that you understand the dynamics of marriage and you're a good manager. So if we have a union of various regions, ethnic groups, and we can't come to the table and one group is lording it over another group, that is how the likes of Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho, and the agitation from the Middle Belt, the Niger Delta people, because there's so much injustices in Nigeria. It's incredible. It used to be there before from time immemorial, but it's right now in your face. What can you do? We are born to rule. So you want to know where the problem is.
Exactly. I actually wanted to, bring these, what you've just, I'm happy you're bringing it up now, what you just alluded to. On the 24th of July, you tweeted, and I read, if Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho have been captured and neutralized as terrorists, what about bandits, herdsmen? Why are they still, bandits, herdsmen, Boko Haram, and kidnappers? Who is their godfather? Why are they still perambulating all over the land? Now I ask, do you think that these groups are being pampered?
Do I think?
If they are being
do I think? Do I think?
You might another opinion. It might be that you think
another opinion, otherwise do I think? Of course. Who was it? Wasn't it Abacha or somebody? Also now, if it lasts for more than 70-something hours, I look towards the government and I can't be there. It's one of their own that made that comment. So what? I mean, you can't even guarantee the citizen security. All this agitation, Biafra here, Oduduwa there, Niger Delta here, Middle Belt here, they are just symptoms of injustices that we're talking about.
Exactly.
And then rather than go to the root of the problem, let us solve it. Or come to the table, let us discuss. Then you are labeling people. Then you're labeling people terrorist group. Meanwhile, the real Capone of terrorism, and the mafia-operated Nigerian army, that have been so divided. Everybody's parading and doing as they like. Kidnapping, banditry, they become a business. When during those days, I've forgotten, way back, that kidnapping started in Niger Delta, it used to be the white people. I say,
Yes.
I told Nigeria, watch it. It will soon spread. Look when you are now. Look when everybody knows it now. And then people were saying, okay, it's just happening in that region. Boko Haram, watch it, it will soon spread. Okay, now we have unknown men or whatever. You know, hey,
Unknown men gone.
Nigeria is a jungle. Nnamdi Kanu is not a zoo, but I don't agree with that. Because in a zoo, you separate animals. In Wiki data, you can't put a tiger and a goat in the same cage. So Nigeria is a jungle. And in the jungle, the strongest survive. That is how it is. The jungle, there are no rules, there are no regulation, no laws, no protection.
Okay, there's one of these pastors, obviously, who you know him very well. He had the following to say. Let us listen to him.
When I say change of gods, what you don't understand is this. The moment that happens, the Spirit of God departs from Saul and landed on David. And so you'll be making useless decisions. You'll be making terrible mistakes and blunders because the spirit of ill will has come upon you. Somebody say Nigeria for Nigeria movement. I'm letting you know it's about to start. I'm going to champion it. It's going to go like wildfire across this nation. Nigeria for Nigerians. You'll be bigger than Save Nigeria Group. You have never seen anything like it before. It's a movement propelled by God. Nigeria for Nigerians to deliver us from the hands of oppressors. In the mighty name of Jesus.
So now on this clip, area further, you had the following to say. You said, if I say some pastor done the reset, we're all in the same pot, Sha. So in this case, do you consider it that the pastors or the men of God are not there?
He had no they reset anything. He's a job man. Sure, they hear me. Now correct job man. Now he can't tell us before. Say God to tell him. So God, since when did God become such a liar? Now God tell him before, say na him after Buhari na him. That's what he talking.
That's true. That's true.
Now, he don't say, Buhari come they tell and say him mouth to the smell. Why God no tell and say him own mouth to the smell that is not the one representing him? Now make I sing the song God of Men. Because since Mumu Nigerians don't, is like they worship their pastor more than they even worship God. So what's up with that? Religion is part of our problem. In that Nigeria, religion, now what? Part of our problem. These pastors have made a killing. They don't care about souls, about saving anybody's souls. Some people, they rob Jericho, they sleep with everybody's wife. They call themselves, pastors are supposed to give us that moral conduct. Now then will they look up how many pastors they with their wife? Charlie boy bad, Charlie boy bad. How many of them don't they with their wife for even up to 5-10 years? Tell me. These are just God of men. They are not servants of God.
Area Father himself. Now, but if we look beyond their God of men and look at the message, probably or would you say there is no message at all?
Which message? Every message is directed to their pocket. Which message? Today, God said this to me. Abraham with regard. Tomorrow, God said this. And every time they make a mistake, they come out and say another thing that God told them. And Mumu Nigerians will be following them. Do you know how many households and families, these pastors, they don't scatter, they don't destroy? Do you know?
I don't know.
I bet when they talk, make they bring the pastors. Even a women.
Oh, area father, please be coming down small.
Make her come down.
Okay, please. Now, but you, in one of your songs, or one of the, like the clip you sent me, you asked a question with that song. You say, which way Nigeria is going to introduce us to the next segment that we will be getting into now. But before we do, for all our viewers watching us, on various social media platforms, please, I would encourage us to follow the area father on Instagram, Charlie Boy Area Father, the father in this case FADA. On Twitter, you can see him and follow him at Area Father 1. On Facebook is Emeka Oputa.
No. Okay. But you're supposed to put the thing so people, say, as
yes, it will
come out to talk.
Yeah, it will.
You're supposed to put it there, so make everybody see and there go copy them, because sometimes Nigerian they know they hear something.
Area Father.
And you promised me you were going to do that. So
yes, I will. No.
I
our own promise not fair. We will not be like Nigerian government.
Make you not gonna be like Buhari.
No.
I will turn $1 to $1.
So,
finish. My brother, you know the dream. Which way Nigeria? Which way will they go? I love my fatherland, so me I want to know. Which way Nigeria? Which way will they go? I love my fatherland, yo. Me I want to know. Special dedication to the man that we call Sonny Okosu. Yeah. All I want is to see my people smile again. All I want is to see my people happy. If I say make we sit down and start to the yarn of the matter, we no go fit to settle. We no go fit to settle. Lie. If I say make we sit down and start to the yarn of the matter for here, we no go fit to settle. We no go fit to settle. Lie. No dey do like say you know where me and they go. See our nation now where we they go. After so many years of independence, still they difficult for us to stand. Now how it go be? Now when it go be? It go better. Think just the scatter. Now where we they face? Oh, I be we no get the future. I want to know. Oh, which way Nigeria? Which way we they go? I love my fatherland, so me I want to know. Which way Nigeria? Which way will they go? I love my fatherland, yo. Me I want to know.
Area Father, on this
You
one,
correct guy.
Combined...
I like as they finished to play the music because there's so much to be talked about. You understand? You could just give them small. You could just come back to
more. Now, if they want to see more, may they go for this place so they talk. May they go see the real passion. So, yeah. Area Father, listening to this music, there are multiple things in one. One, you acknowledged and you paid tribute to late Sonny Okosu. Again, you, in just 1 minute, 45 seconds, you've been able to X-ray, starting from NSAS, the jagadness of the country and the unfuturisticness, if there is anything. Anyway, here with the manufacturer, with you, I'm in the spirit. So I can manufacture what?
Every English will be our language, so we could make our own language. God punish them.
So even in the jagadness of the country, it appears there is no future. And it brings me to this question that says, in all this, in summary, what is the way out?
Well, when you have riffraffs, scammers, you know, people of no pedigree occupying the political space, I don't know which other way, but like I told you about the jungle, is about the strongest of the animals will win. You don't tell when they tell us, say, Nigeria go scatter in before American people say na 2015. Yeah? Nigeria is still there. I don't know. You know, you just asked me a question where I no fit answer. And I make they ask which way Nigeria. Sonny Okoso don't ask. I'm not the first to ask that question. Fella don't talk, I'm tired. Sonny asked the question. They no answer her. I can't ask her. I no fit answer her. But I believe that nothing lasts forever. So even this oppression and intimidation and insecurity that is abound in our country, Nigeria, ain't going to be there forever. I believe the time will come, and very soon for that matter. So, and that is part of the reason why I'm moving from pillar to post. Anywhere I can find my brethren in the diaspora, so we can keep talking how we go do for this our country. How do we help? Because it is clear to me that the young people who are there back home, okay, they are suffering from fatigue now, from hopelessness, from hunger, since they've weaponized poverty. So I know see somebody where that is that frustrated, that hungry, being able to think well. And a lot of people in Nigeria, 80% of them, they all have mental problems. We all have mental problems in that country. My own be say, I thank my God, say, I can at least get away for a little while, reboot, and go back, because I'm not running away from that place. We'll all die there. Anything they want, we'll go see them there. Because you can start a war, you can start a fight, but where that fight actually will end, the starter of the fight, you don't know. But Mali don't sing that. He said, when the rain falls, it won't fall on one man's roof. Now the whole roof go cave in. People, they think that they've seen the worst. No, the worst is yet to come. I know that at some point, something must give. Something should give. Because what gets us going, like you as you did so, is because you have believed that tomorrow, the one way you know do today, your tomorrow will be better than today. So you keep trucking on. So it's not for anybody to lose hope, because hope is what drives us. Without hope now, what thing I won't do again. And no matter as a bad rich, I still believe in the exceptional and outstanding youths of Nigeria. They are capable. Yes, it's unfortunate what happened at Lekki Toll Gate. And I had warned the morning where that thing happened. I said, guys, I think it's time we've done enough. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's re-strategize, because the people we're dealing with are evil and demonic. I use the word, the emphasis is on demonic. They're demonic people. These are barbarians from the 18th century who believe that might is right.
Yeah. You know, in saying because I asked you this question of solution, or how do we? Again, you've profiled and still futuristic. You mentioned
solution. Okay, where are you? Are you in London?
Yeah. Yes.
I've been talking
and you
about
mentioned
what I've been doing for the. Unfortunately, COVID came last year, the first quarter of last year. What I was doing even before COVID came was to tour around the world. I went to Auckland. I went to Germany. I went to Canada. I was in America talking to the Nigerians, wherever there is a congregation, large gathering of Nigerians, because I believe that the people in diaspora, they have the wherewithal. They've seen how a good system works. Okay, where would they be if they didn't have any country again to go back to? And I've been pleading that we can all go to the government of the day in that country. Let us be going there. Let us be shouting that there is a certain kind of horrific, genocide that is going on in our country. Please help us. By the time all over the world that we flood their parliament or whatever, maybe something, can we just start from there? I can't say I have all the answers, but that is a sure place to start from.
Sure. And if I, as part of, many people are commenting online, as part of questions being thrown up is when we talk about solution, some would argue or some would say, there should be outright breakup of Nigeria. Some would say there should be a referendum. And some would argue, let's go back to the Aburi Accord. Let's go back to the 1963 Constitution. Let's, because you talked about we cannot build on a faulty foundation. That means the foundation, the structure of Nigeria today is faulty. Knowing that that is faulty, now, would it be fair to say that should the people collectively be campaigning and demanding for a referendum for them to be asked if they want to be part of this union, or if they don't want to be part of this union, what is it that they want? They want to be left alone and be on their own, however they want to be. I mean, people are adults, they should be able to take that decision. Don't you think that that's also a possibility?
That is an option. Like I gave you the example of married people who respect each other's space. They can only stay married, and they can only attain that longevity in marriage because, life is a game of balance. You need to strike a balance. But where the husband wants to lord it over the woman and say, "Na me be the oga, anything I talk you go do," how can that marriage last? So it's all about negotiation. It's all about coming to the table. But if they come to the table with people where they sin, then we have a chance. What if they come to the table with mad people? Can you sit down and discuss and have any reasonable conversation with mad people? Because what seems to be the obvious is that we come to the table and agree how we want to move forward. Since a lot of people, there's a cacophony of different kinds of agitation. And it's not helping us. And it's because of these injustices that I've been talking about. So whether the government of the day wants that to happen or not, they have not showed us. They have not showed us that they mean well. They have not showed us that, yes, they are interested in one Nigeria. So it becomes a problem. Yes,
okay.
Referendum, we can go back to the regional autonomy we used to have before. That was working some, where the concentration is really not at the center. But each region can just make contributions to the center and reduce the power at the center. But then go agree, I don't know.
Anyway, it's a very fine place to anchor that thoughts. Now, before we close, let's come down to an Igbo. Let's come down to the great Igbo nation, as I found it called, as I found it call it. Now, while you're talking about the future, you mentioned multiple times about hope, and I thought to myself, are you somewhat alluding to your governor that there is hope in your state? But that's on a
talking about hope that things will be better tomorrow.
Okay, having noted that, I know that before I ask you my next question, there is something you so much believe in, and that is contained in this video. Let's basically watch before I ask.
I represent and symbolize all the characteristics of a typical Igbo man. Yes, I've learned to be more Igbotic than I ever expected. As an Igbo man, I've perfected the act to be international in any dream that I chase. To be industrious, be consistent, and powerfully focused. All the lessons I learned from the brothers in the tribe have made me dogged, hardworking, and exhibiting the ability and the capacity to survive in any kind of weather. Yes, I am an original Wafo because Mamumu don't do.
Your Mumu has reached the last bus stop, as you said. Okay. Honestly, the thing is, your vibes are very infectious. I listen to them, I feel like not clicking the stop button. But having said that, let's come back to the great Igbo nation. Recently, you're someone who, in your history, you talked about when you came back from America. I mean, that's obviously from what I've watched, read, someone who admire you and follow you. And to the point you went down to the east, and eventually how you were rescued, quote unquote, and came back to Lagos. And you have done marvelously well in Lagos.
Thank you.
But in recent time, you've had some inroads in your state. We clearly saw how you gave the former governor of Imo State, that is in the person of Emeka Ihedioha, visibly you gave him a massive support. Now you have another government in Imo State. My question then to you is, if you compare the government of Emeka Ihedioha, even amidst when it was short-lived, and what you have now in Imo State as a place of your pride, your home state, what's your impression?
During Emeka Ihedioha regime, the short regime, yeah, I wasn't doing for Emeka Ihedioha. I was doing for my people. It seemed to me that there was some intention. These people are tricky people. I don't understand them most of the time. Okay. But there seemed to be an intention to uplift the people. And that was why I jumped in to say, I'm encouraged and I will encourage you more. Maybe if he was given some time more, we would have known for sure whether he meant it or that was another zazavu. You know how they do now. They will they're going somewhere, they do for your face like this. Meanwhile, they're doing something else. Because I don't trust politicians. I don't trust any of them. Once you wear that toga as a politician, I don't trust you. I don't trust the Nigerian politics as it's being played. That's why people like me can never be around it. Because the word in the morning is not the same like as it is in the afternoon. By night, they don't change everything, the whole thing. So I don't know how it's possible to walk with people like that. But if somebody is showing me, whether fakely or falsely, that they are for the people, because in Kebasaram with the people. And when it starts to look like, okay, somebody's a little bit, just teeny bit like this, sympathetic towards the plight of my people, I go jump in now. It's only natural for me to do that. Okay.
Sure.
Now, Hope Abatala. I've been quarreling with Hope.
And what a hope.
Amamu Ngazamu that one. Sorry. Ngazamu, but I'm hoping that there is hope. Whether it is with this hope, Amam,
Or with the future hope.
or with the future hope, Amam, because Nga Wamos Warabara. I'm already an Odudu Bariba. I'm a spiritual warrior. I mean, that could be a lifetime job. I'm supposed to don't die since now. Not be today. But if it wasn't me as a winch expeller, I've done more since so. So Matamazigi face all these bigger winch in the wizard. Now walk there.
Odudubaribanu himself.
Yes.
I was at some point I was thinking whether that Odudubariba came from Arondis or on KGF Chief. That is this one is for the whole of Africa.
Chineke me, don't tell anybody. But you know what you know what Odudubariba means? It's an Uguta language. All from Uguta. Odudubariba simply means a butterfly. But you see, this is a special butterfly. And that is why I say I'm a classic. Okay? I'm not a regular kind of person. This butterfly swallowed swallowed the animal that swallowed the elephant. Can you imagine a butterfly loring?
Hey, that is very gargantuous. It cannot be comprehended.
Okay, that is what I'm saying. Okay, but Chineke my horoga, that he has sort of kept me alive till today. I can't There's a reason that I'm still around. A lot of my contemporaries, but nobody's going to forget me in a hurry.
No way.
That happened.
We won't. Odubariba himself. Before Ayane Mechila, the last one I give you Igbo. Onwere ihe mere ikwu ya n'Igbo. Ịma na o nwere mgbe anọkọtara ọ dị ka a ga-ebi ka a ga-akwapụ n'ala Igbo. O nwere ike isi kwuo ya na mbụ si na e nwere man gunmen, gunman man. Ịma na ya bụ ihe bịa dị ka o si dị anọkọtazi ya si na ndị mkpọrọ gbara ọsọ. Amaghị m ma o nwere ihe ị ga-agwa ụmụ Igbo. Nwere ị ga-agwa anyị ụmụazị. Ara ama ọ bụrụgodị nọọ ndị iro na-eme, kedu ihe anyị ga-eme? Ọ bụkwa na o nwere etu a ga-esi necha anya dịka o nwere etu anyị nwasi nwetụ aka na ya, kedu ihe anyị ga-eme?
Ịma na o ruola mgbe ndị Igbo and the real leaders, and make real sincere leaders, ndị hụrụ Igbo n'anya, ga-aghọta that. Ị hụrụ vidio ahụ ịpụ ma sị, I'm a proud Igbo man. Alụrụ m aga mbụ front, but anọ m na I have Biafra. Okay, I was about 17 for 17 or 18, can't remember. So ama m ihe mere nụ. Ama m otu agụụ shiri merụ anyị ahụ. In fact, agụụ gburu anyị during the war. regardless na ndị soldiers on the war front and a ration of bullets and then you got 3 bullets, 4 bullets, got 1 DG machine gun. Can you imagine? Mgbe ahụ onye tetere ọkwa ugwuta anyị nọ ọ ya wụkwa the Navy headquarters, Army headquarters, Commando headquarters, all the headquarters nọ n'Ugwuta. So as a result of that, every day we air raid. So if you survive the next day, yeah, because that war scandalized my youth. So una no odika na-eme mkpọtụ na aga alụ agha anyhow. No be na mapụkwa m because ahụla m war jọkwara njọ. Man na-ekwuga onwe any other way I ga-esi lụọ agha. Because even though ihe a wutere commander anyị mbụ ya wụ Ojukwu, but I believe no nwekwara otu Okeshi were uche akọna uche onye Igbo were sokwanda, because at the end of the day ebufu 3 million ọwụ obere ihe. Agụ gbukwara many people ọwụ obere ihe. Man ajụ onwe m, couldn't that have been avoided? Even in the now, man I wonder, onye chọrọ ikpe ike ọ ga-anọkwanụ n'ụlọ ya atụgo okwute? Ọ dị normal like that. Ị ga-anọ n'ihu your front page because ndị ahụ etogo okwute ha tụchetakwana okwute tụwashia glass. That is, you've suffered some consequences of okwute ahụ etoro. Why don't you go to their own house? Ebe ha bi tụwa okwute there. Or abịa n'abalị ga-ekpuru mass. Yeah, buys into the commando way. Gano loha, Ghana their village, toward to Kute there. You see, on your name sometimes I'll touch and say, why do we keep missing the point? Because we are a special breed of people. Okay? We do well. We don't rely on anybody. You can kakanye na wanting to change. We can survive na video. We can survive anywhere on this planet. Ebe ole ị gara ị na-ahụ onye Igbo. Ebe ahụ nwekwa ihe mega there. You know, so ọ gwụcha ihe na-arụ m afọ. Sometimes ana m aghọtacha ihe megana. So o ruokwala n'mgbe ndị Igbo ga-agbakọ mamịrị ọnụ. Anyị hụga ka ndị ọzọ si emege nke ha, ọ na-agara ha. So o ruokwala no time anyị ga-change tụkwa n'aka. Change aka. Lekwa ụdịrị ashị a na-akpọ anyị. For what? Because I won't kwesịrị ekwesị, I won't ziri ezi. And when we determine to do something, I get metia. During the war, just sense of Lugida aha aluroya 3 years. Forget about what hunger did to us. Okay, so please, we can avoid all that disaster because Omakana Mona, how time megano.
And then I cause history in our school.
And now cause history in our school. So Hama I know before. Hama thought I want to be war before. Because all I had the come on, no idea in her war. Maybe they will be cooling down for Jesus.
Mana, you know, area further. When you look at now, we can speak English. When you look at why there is this restiveness, some believe that the reason why this restiveness exists is because the elders that ought to speak up on their behalf have somewhat failed in doing that. Therefore, you know,
of course. Imana, since after the Civil War, my book is something. You should understand this, what I'm about to say. When we were born in our own time, in the early 50s, whenever anybody, it could be a perfect stranger, maybe see you doing one naughty thing in one neighborhood, they will draw your ear, they will flog you or caution you. But the first question they will ask you, who is your mother, who is your father? They are not asking you that question to know whether your mother and father have money, because money wasn't the premium at the time. It was about values, morals, and principles. And that is what we grew up on. Oh, then when you say, oh, you're an Okuta, I say, no, your people know they behave like this.
Oh, sorry, area father, I think, can you kindly unmute? How do you go?
Unmute? Have I unmuted?
No, you're good, go ahead. No, yes, you're good now.
So, but somewhere after the war, we lost the value, the morals we grew up on. That was what gave criminals, nincompoops, scumbags, that avenue to enter the political space. When people lost their morals and values, the whole thing shifted. In our days, even the poorest, which were teachers, who only had a bicycle, the kind of honor they gave to the teachers in those days were the kind of honor and respect and fear you give to now. So we lost it when we lost our values. And yes, what is responsible for Umaji behaving as they like is because parents have left their duty post. Because before, in my time, it wasn't just your parents that was responsible, it was the community you come from. The community have failed the child, okay? The leaders, TV, compromising leaders have failed the youths. Where do they have to turn to? They turn to pastors. The pastors are collecting the small money they have. They're feeding them with I don't know what, that a miracle can happen. How can a miracle happen if you don't create it yourself? How did Charlie Boy, how did I become successful? Is it by going to church? Is it by anointing? Hell no. It's by staying consistent, being tenacious, being sagacious, okay, being hardworking. Even my parents didn't think I would make it. Most Nigerians at that time didn't think I would make it. But I knew that all I can bring was my best game to this. Even before that, my father, when no things I go make up, before him died, she be on a commissioner. Anywhere you go, the first thing I pray on, I'm Charlie Boy's father. I'm Charlie Boy's father. So kids copy what they see. So if elders who have come before those children are acting badly, are you going to blame the children? But still, I say to them, regardless of whatever the elders must have bequeathed to you, their bad habits and stuff, it behoves you to save yourself. Because if my father was a common drunk, how can he, and a womanizer, can he talk to me about morals? Hell no. Hell no. So, would that mean that I will turn out useless? After all, my best friend in Bengara Holy Ghost College, Owerri, okay, he was the best student, he was the best prefect, he was the best in everything. He didn't have no father, no mother. Okay, so it's not about where you're coming from. It's about how determined that you are in your life that there is a goal that you set for yourself. And may God bless you with confidence to know that as long as you stay focused, as long as you're consistent, as long as you're tenacious about chasing your dream, 80% of the time, it will come true. So, but then, even all some bad example. You know the difference between right and wrong. You know, if you can't look any other way, look this side now. And come to Charlie Boy. How you can succeed in life without going to a pastor, without going to a dibia. Yes.
So in conclusion now, you made a comparison between dibia and pastor. So are you alluding that they are all Ururu people, both?
What do you think? Why in the dibia? Have you seen a native doctor that is he's doing well? Why is their life one kind?
I learned they make money, they make other people rich, but their children are good in killing fowl.
Don't mind those people. Everything is a scam. It's a scam, my brother. The pastors, they are the biggest scam. But let me say this. It's not all of them. And I don't mean to, use one brush and, because my best friend, my brother, my best friend is a pastor. But it's not that kind of flamboyant, bodyguard and that, but no. When that man talks to me about spirituality, I bow for him. When that man, we sit and talk about spirituality or life, on a hotter that, it's about how to develop, because every individual, we all have the yin and the yang, the good and the bad in us. So it depends on what is propelling us. Are we propelled towards doing good? In my own case, yes. So I'm not perfect, but I want to, can God help me, give me the strength to always do good. So for him, I see him, he's a pastor, but I see him, we don't talk on religious line, or go through Bible. Hell no. Because that I went to the seminary. Been to the seminary, no 1 year there. Every morning mass. I was an altar boy for almost 7 years. I had religion, Bible inside there. That was all part of my rebellion in those days. But Odoromania, that I may not be a religious person, but I'm deeply, deeply, deeply spiritual. And finally, I found somebody who is that way. So it's not about that you know the verses of the Bible.
But in conclusion, regarding what you just said now, when you do your photo shots and you have, sculptures, skulls, rings, so many tattoos, piercing and all the rest, maybe I would say ignorantly, some people allude that to, some fetish stuff, but some
because they are mumus, are hotter. And in my own position, because he in here, I got hotter.
Because that's a
and I'm not ready for anybody to forget me. I will get that one before.
And that is part of the brand, Charlie Boy.
Yes, that is why it is called show business. Helps a lot of people who have a miserable life. So Haga Bia Palo, they can discuss, hey, how na Charlie boy, oh, he put on a coffee, no, hey, you know, how called on your court, on your two. And when you can discuss for 1 week, okay, me like that, you just forget me, I never existed. And I'm not going to allow that.
Odudubari by himself. Onoro Odudubaruba noro ihe noro enyi. That's a very loquacious and large for that sake.
Oh, the very
Yeah, thank you very much. We will be rounding up now, but before we do, I have audience here, and from the audience, I would have only 2 or maximum 3 people just ask question. If I unmute you, please go straight to the question. Go straight to the question. You have less than 30 seconds to do that. The first person I'm going to unmute is Hope. Hope, can you quickly unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, I quite like, good evening. Good evening, sir. I quite like your ideas.
I'm not sir, I'm father.
Okay, father, I like your ideas and ideology. I've been following you all my years, your music, bringing out the team text in order to checkmate the politicians. But my question is this, why can't you come out and vie for one of these posts in order to sanitize the state or the local government, for example?
Everybody has a calling. God has given each and every one of us something. It's for us to find what that something is so we can live our lives on purpose. I think I have found the something. And the something is not, why don't I go and become a footballer? I know if you play football. I know if you become politician. I know if you talk one thing for morning, talk another one for afternoon, talk another one for night. Okay? And worst of all, me, I believe, I don't old now. Hey, did I say that? No, I know old, Sha.
Not be old.
I know old. Sorry, I take that back. So, but because I have great belief in the young people, I don't meet some people that are supposed to become our president. Even my son, where I take my own body born, I know say if he's that way inclined, that he'll make a good president. No be me now. Should be with the talk, say all these old people, they're supposed to give way, make young people come. So why I go put, and then it's not what I want to do. It's not what I would like to do. I'm not the one who will come to save Nigeria because I'm so interested in that environment being cleaned up. No. God don't tell me to do that one.
Maybe there was a missed call. You didn't get the missed call when you came in. Area further, you know, there are people in Onitsha, they will say Neker or Reke. So you have chosen your own work.
Yeah.
So again, thank you once more for joining us. On this note, we will be anchoring it here. It's been a pleasure to have you speak with us in the last 1 hour. My guest here on this one-on-one is Charles Chukwuemeka Oputa, aka Charlie Boy. He is the founder of the Our Mumu Don't Do organization, Area Father #1, and the president of all frustrated Nigerians, the Odudubari Ba, the Onoroihe one of Africa. He is a singer, a songwriter, someone who does not want to be forgotten, a television presenter, publisher, producer, one of the most controversial entertainer, best known for his alternative lifestyle, politics, political views, media productions, most notably the Charlie Boy show that we talked about at the beginning. Now, to leave it here, I will ask you this parting question. I am a biker. And, you know, growing up, seeing you encouraged me into getting into serious bikes. Do you still ride as of today?
For the past 4 or 5 years, I have not been on a bike, and I think I've had my fill, because like they say, there's time and season for everything. I think the time and season for biking, my own don't pass. So now make you take over.
Oh no, my one as well. Man is now very, very casual.
But be careful. Always ride protected. Be careful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. With all the gears, I mean, that's given. On that note, I will say thank you very much. I cannot thank you enough for agreeing to have to be part of this conversation. It's been an enlightening one, and we had fun. It's, I liked the vibe. Again, the music will continue when we stop. Thank you, everyone watching online. Thank you once more for joining us. And I'd like to thank
you, because I never expected that it will go this way, but you showed me that you're also an intelligent young man, and you've done the needful. You've asked important questions, intelligent questions, and all I can say is God bless you in all that you do. Okay, and
thank you very much.
I had a good time. So
thank you very much for those.